Awesome. Hello, everybody. I am so darn excited to be here with my friend and mentor, Sara Connell. And oh my goodness, Sara, I'm so excited to have you talk because you are so inspiring about women creating movements, making the impact that we're meant to make. And yay, I am just so glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Chris. I'm so happy to be here with everybody. Happy Wednesday if you're watching this live or whatever it is that you're watching it. Really excited. Chris and I have been in this conversation. We've been talking about this, and really, I heard something today. Chris, I was telling you, I love the anthropologist Margaret Mead, and someone had posted a quote. Many people have heard a quote about the don't ever underestimate the power of a few committed citizens, and that when a group of committed citizens gets together for change, it says, that the potential is infinite, but then she ends with that famous line of, it's really the only thing that has ever created change is a few committed, and she even says small group, right? So I think that's really powerful. And then I heard, kind of building on that quote, there was like a thread, and the I don't know if it was the Dalai Lama, but in that tradition in Buddhism, that the predicted next Buddha will not be an individual, it will be a sangha, which is a group.
Ooh, I just got chills. Oh,
pierced me when I heard. It's like,
wow.
and so Chris, you and I have been talking about women starting movements. That's a conference that we host coming up, that I know we'll be there together, Chris, in October in Chicago. And I have a lot of people say to me, well, I'm not a movement. I'm not starting a movement. That sounds like Rosa Parks. It sounds like, Martin Luther King. Like we have to be some kind of enormous, activist, huge platform or something. And when I heard that report, that prophecy, I don't know, whatever it is, whoever is talking about the next Buddha, that it's not, we're over the age of the individual, the egoic, sort of patriarchal one versus me. It is the group coming together, and a movement to me starts with one, right? We say, I'm going to move a thought pattern, an idea, a project, a business, a book, forward. And then that ignites a spark in everyone it touches, and so everyone is a leader of movement, and we're also all part of each other's movements.
Oh my gosh, Sara, this is so powerful. Holy cow. This is something that I, for the, past, I don't know, several years, I knew in my heart was so powerful and so important for a community of women getting together, and how impactful we can be, right? And, I know a little bit about my story. When I was a little girl, I got to walk in the Equal Rights Amendment marches with my grandmother, and she with her grandmother, and her mom with her mom in the first women's suffrage march. And yet it doesn't have to be, like you said, like this big giant movement, this big influencer, where you've got tens of thousands of people following you. The value of being in community, in, intentional groups can be small, but they are really impactful and really powerful.
Yes. And Chris, we all probably lead many movements, but one of the ones I find I learned from you and love about you is the feminine leadership movement, right? Instead of hustle, drive, compete, achieve, like in that model, it's like actually creating wealth, creating well-being through collaboration, through balance, through self-care. And it's like any narrative we run will play out to be true. It's like whatever story we're telling will be the story, but they can all be revised. And so I think leading a movement is about being first and foremost the living example of what you believe to be true. Feminine leadership, non-hustle. For me, with the book, Science of Getting Rich for Women, it was about not women earning less on the dollar, not women being in a setback and having taken a global hit during the pandemic. It's like actually come back, set up, more abundant, and whatever story we run will play out. And so we get to run a movement of the stories we want to play out. And so I'm just really inviting, the reason we even run this conference, and the reason, that we're, you're doing the work you're doing, I'm doing the work we're doing, is because we had to move ourselves first, move ourselves out of the limiting idea.
Yep, totally.
And start to live the new. That's how we start a movement, is living the new reality, the new narrative. And then other people understandably say, well, heck, Chris, you created millions of dollars, but aren't working, and you take vacations and you take self-care breaks and you don't work on weekends, and you have, it's like, maybe I can too. That's the movement.
Gosh, yes, we need to see it, right? And yes, and to, when one person, even just one person is sharing, a new way of thinking or being, that opens up and it touches people, and the ripple effects that it happens is so incredible.
Incredible.
Sara, I'm so glad that you shared two things. Number one, your conference is coming up in Chicago, because it's amazing. I look forward to going to it, and it's just phenomenal. So I definitely want all of our listeners here, anybody who's watching the video or the replay, to kind of hear how they can come to, because I think we've got a few more spots.
We do. And Chris, I told you, because Chris and I, we're colleagues, we love each other's work. And we are gifting for your community tickets. It's a $500 conference, but we're gifting tickets to all of you who are watching this or on the replay. So that's our gift. Gift to you, that I'm getting to be a part of Chris's gift to you. And it's 3 days where we really look at, what does that mean? If I do believe I'm here to serve in a bigger way, to contribute, to earn more for myself and my world, how do we do that? And I really, the way I love to do it is helping people do that through learning how to write a book or articles or writing that helps you lead that movement, and then speaking. So those of you that want to be on more podcasts, bigger stages, have a greater reach on social media and other video. We look at writing, we look at speaking, we look at finding the people we're here to serve. And then we look at monetizing the mission, monetizing the movement. So these 4 pillars, part of our Thought Leader Academy system, right? We get to go through those in the 4 days, and you come away with, certainly, I promise you will come away with strategies for your writing and speaking, audience building and monetizing a new level. I promise everyone will have that. And if that what we also get when we come together is the incredible miracles we can't expect. We have a saying in our community that the answer is in the room. And so there have been businesses birthed, partnerships made, best friends, finding each other, soul connections, and getting expanded, so that we're going to release the limiting ideas that, who do you think you are? I don't have a movement, all of that unworthiness conversation. We really do some powerful work to eradicate that, so that everyone who leaves those 3 days really leaves in a higher vibration, and then a higher level of impact and abundance.
Yes, and inspiration and excitement about what we get to do as individuals. And
like, we got to get inspired, and then also have a roadmap. I'm really
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love Thought Leader Academy. By the way, for those of you that don't know, I am in Sara's Thought Leader Academy. It's amazing. She's actually helping me write a book to put my process and my system that I teach wellness entrepreneurs and holistic practitioners in writing. So we can create more impact there. And everything that Sara says is absolutely true. You get all of these amazing, wonderful things in addition to being a part of a community, to being with other women that are also stepping out. And I think one of the things that I love about being in community, and especially in your community, Sara, is that we get to see that really no matter where we are in our journey, we are so alike in so many different ways, right? Like, it's incredible that even, when we're with people that are already making multiple millions of dollars, they still have imposter syndrome too.
Of course.
They still are like, how do we do this thing? So it
depersonalizes it. Like you said, Chris, it's because I used to think, when I made 6 figures, then I won't have these fears. When I make $1 million a year, I won't have these fears. And it's like, no, anytime we do something new, there's that part of us that wants to protect us. It's not trying to be a pain in the buns. It's not trying to ruin our, prosperity. It just is trying to keep us small and safe and basically invisible. And really leading a movement. And those of you watching, you are leading a movement. You just probably not enough people know about it, and they need you. They need you. They need your way. Because we get into this thing, right? This conversation comes up with a lot of our clients of, there's other people who talk about, parenting or business coaching or nutrition there's a lot of people that talk about all that. Chris, we talk, you can go learn 6 figures from a lot of people. You can learn to write a book from all kinds of people, but no one does it the way you do. And there are people who get so demoralized because they keep trying to find their answer. They take the program, they read the book, and they aren't getting it. And then suddenly it's because yours is the one that's going to land.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. Oh my
So
God.
it's needed. It's needed. If you're watching this, your movement's needed, whether you can join us, in October, or just listen to this and be more bold today, right? Like, get yourself out there, because there are people's lives on the line, whether it's their physical life, if you're in, sort of health or mental health, but it's also subtler ways, feeling purpose, or permission to stop working so hard. Chris, the people that train with you, they get to realize they can have what they want without burnout and without working 90 hours a week. None of us are available for that anymore. I'm sorry, that's done.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so over that.
No more. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so good. And for those of you that do want to come to Chicago, like, please come. I would love to meet you. The beauty of being in person is incredible. So absolutely, while virtual events, you can get so much power and so much impact from being in person, there's just nothing like it. And I love being in your energy. I love being in the community, the energy of the women there. We get to connect, we get to share, we get to laugh. And yeah, I would love, I am so open to connecting with anybody that wants to come to be like, yes,
Chris in person.
Yes, come hang with me. It'll be so much fun. Actually, I have several of my clients that are coming too. So it's so much more fun when you're actually in person. And one of the things that I love also about going to events is that there's this energetic state change that happens that we can't get when we're in our house, right? Every time I go away, when I go to a retreat, when I get out of my house, when I energetically, that creates such an incredible impact to just create a change in my being, in the way that I'm thinking. It's just so powerful.
It is, Chris, and we missed it during the pandemic. So part of this is like, this can be your coming out if you've been still a little bit homebound, or still at least with business stuff on virtual events. The magic. I have a good friend who's coming. We're colleagues, and we met because of going to an event together, and we've stayed friends now for like 6 years, and we reminisce constantly about, God, if we hadn't gone, we almost didn't go. We both are moms. We both felt like we couldn't justify the expense. We had other commitments. Our kids were younger. We were like, what am I doing? Flying to, California, wherever it was. And yet, like, my whole life changed.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so funny that you said that, because I also do some in-person retreats for my mastermind. And the last spring, the one that we did in the spring, one of my clients was like, I can't believe I almost didn't come to this. And she said, I am so glad that I'm here, and I would have paid double. And I'm like, well, glad you're here.
Like, you come on down. But it's true, because until we get there, we forget how incredibly transformational. I do. It was like, and plus there's virtual is really good. So we think, I'm probably good. And this year I've had the gift of getting to both facilitate and attend some in-person events again. And it's just rocked my world. It's brought me more alive.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you're continuing to do them. We've seen lots of coaches that have stopped doing in-person events. And I remember, the last event that we were at with you, I think it was in San Diego, and you're like, would you guys still want live events? I'm like, oh my God, please still do live events.
Right. And then we asked everyone, do you want, or do you just, and people are like, do it, and so I really appreciate if any of you have that kind of, it's a lot. It is a lot to go, especially if it's not even your city. But as you said, Chris, whenever I travel, I get new downloads. My mind gets opened. Certain things become clear too. I don't know if you have that. I love it. Just even going on a trip that's nothing to do with my work or vision, I'll suddenly go, I don't need to do that anymore. Or suddenly this is a priority. I'm getting back and I'm all in. It's glorious. And it almost just happens. We don't have to effort. It's just by going somewhere else. We're out of routine, and there's neuroscience around this, but we see things differently. We weren't just in our normal pathway.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm always all in. I'm anything.
We're like, let's go.
I'm in. Just where to go. I'm in.
Yes. So that's everyone's homework. Think of, come join Chris and I and play with us in Chicago, if that speaks to you. And think either like something to get out of routine so that you can even more powerfully lead your movement. And own that you are leading one. Own that you are. The next Buddha is a group.
I
We're the group.
Love
There's
that.
nobody coming. We're the group.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, I love that. Oh my gosh. I want to also talk about your book
Yeah.
because you've got an amazing book. Those of you who don't know, Sara Connell. Oh, let me grab it. It's an amazing author. This book is fantastic. I love this book so much that I bought it for every single one of my clients. Thank you, Sarah. Signed copy. Yay. And we're going to do a book club around it because it's so powerful. And the way that you talk about impact and women and
Yeah.
allowing yourself to be well paid and, you know, standing out and making your movement is so incredible. So Sarah, would you just talk, because you've got such a great story about how this came into being and you did it quickly. It was just like instant divine download and let's get this out.
Well, so I definitely did not intend to write a money book, right? I'm not a money coach only. It is one of the pillars of Thought Leader Academy, the fourth one, but I wasn't intending it. I was working on a different book, and Chris knows that I was, fall of 2021, walking along, and things come across our newsfeed or texts and whatever, and it was a statistic about women losing $800 billion in the pandemic. And I thought, okay, it's a mistake. It's million, even though that's horrible. And I got home and I did some digging and it's like, no, it's billion with a B. And I thought about, I felt gutted, right? Because it felt like another slam economically for women. And we hear about the confidence gap, the pay gap, all the things. And I was kind of stomping around in a little rant about it. And then I'm a coach, so I get to catch myself and say, am I focusing on the problem or the solution? Like, there's two choices here, right?
Yeah.
And I certainly don't have some grandiose idea. I'm going to solve this, economic, situation for women. But I do know that I'd been working on this in my own life for the past, really intently for 5 years, really changing and releasing the limiting ideas I had around money. And the more that I did that work, and I used a lot of different techniques and modalities to do so, my income kept doubling.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from not being able to earn, $20,000 a year as a coach to over $1 million in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And, all of you watching know that have done that journey or in that journey. That's a big change.
Heck yeah.
And it didn't happen by just using my brain, right? My logical, rational, let's go hustle. It happened by a complete transformation of my subconscious and my beliefs, and sort of what evolved was this equation, this path. And I thought, well, it's kind of fun. There's The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, is like a metaphysical text from the 1920s written by a white guy. And I thought, well, it's the science of getting rich for women.
Yeah.
And of course it's for everyone, but I didn't want to do he pronouns. I didn't want a bunch of, especially some of these books are written by men who had a wife and a staff, and they didn't have other responsibilities. And what is it like a woman, an entrepreneur, a writer, a mother who wants to have 6, 7 figures, 8-figure business? What is that? What's that roadmap? And that's how the book came to be. And it doesn't just feature my story, 25 other self-made women millionaires from all different backgrounds and industries and ages, sharing about how they also were able to take this both inner and outer journey. And it's just been extraordinary. We've been on book tour this summer, getting to do really fun workshops in a lot of cities. And like you said, Chris, we're all the same in the sense that we usually have a glass ceiling.
Yeah.
And the exciting part is it's smashable, completely smashable. And the book outlines the roadmap. If you want to go to 6, 7 figures, train with Chris, and definitely, and then you can use this alongside. And it's about who we get to become, right? It's about worthiness. It's the money is like a fun side benefit of finally owning our power, our gifts, our voice, and our absolute worthiness.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, so good. It doesn't get any better than that. Really empowering women to own their voice, empowering women to own their worthiness, empowering women to create our own financial independence. There's so many. I mean, I was actually flipping through it this morning as well. I not only have this, but I also have a workbook that you put out because I was like, oh, I want that now. Yeah. And I'm flipping through it. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Every time I go into your book, and every time I go to any of your retreats, it's just always so incredible. I feel renewed. I feel excited. I feel inspired to, even if it's just take that 1% step forward it's just so incredible. So we're going to absolutely share the links here. Sarah's got a free ticket, which is a $500 value for everybody who is watching it. It's coming up. Can you give us the dates again? I know I'm flying in on the 10th.
Yes, October 11th to the 13th in Chicago. So if you're coming in from out of town, come in on the 10th, and we'll have some gorgeous lunch stuff. We'll have wonderful, it's very nurturing, as well as you're going to get a lot of great strategies. So 11th to the 13th in Chicago. Again, you all get a free VIP ticket because you're in Chris's community, and you can just let us know your name and email. Our team will sign you up and give you all the details. We can't wait.
Amazing. So we'll share the link here, but also if for some reason you don't see the link, comment me and we will make sure that we will get your information to Sarah's team and we'll get you there. And I will be so excited to see you. Yes. And then we'll also share the link for any of you that are interested in the book club. You know, I'll put that there. It's just a little place where you can leave us your name and email so that we can send you information and give you the link to the Zoom room where we're all going to be talking about the science of getting rich for women. So it's so super exciting. Yay, lots of such good stuff coming up.
Abundance is happening. Back to school. I can't wait to see you, Chris, in October. I can't wait to see everyone who's watching this. Come join us. And yes, and then we're just going to rise together. I mean, that's the gift that we get to do it and have. It can be fun.
Amazing.
Be fun.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. Bye, everybody.